and welcome to the first OnTrade Show podcast coming from our new location and our fancy new studios. The show itself, I'm going to be one of the hosts, Justin Wingate, head of OnTrade magazine, and our new co-host will be joining us in one of the coming episodes, so that will be staying a secret for the moment, but it's somebody I'm sure you'll all really love and love hearing from. The show itself is about the hospitality industry, by the hospitality industry, to discuss all of the challenges, the news, encourage debate and inspire from all across the industry. And we're also going to be welcoming some fantastic guests onto the show to talk about their venues, to talk about their experience, and to talk about the industry as a whole and how we move it forward. Talking about outstanding guests, we have the amazing duo in the studio with us today of Laura and Lisa from the world famous Berlinkys in Glasgow. How are we doing, ladies?
We're fine. Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you for joining us on the first
very
show.
First one. I know.
Yeah,
Exciting.
as I said, this is going to be the calm one because as you
think
both,
that.
well, kinda. Kinda. Exactly. No pressure. No pressure. But obviously our other co-host who is remaining a bit of a secret at the moment will also liven things up as I'm sure as we go along. So you guys are the entry for the
we the
for
guinea
new.
pigs? Is that what you're trying to tell us?
Well, if you want to put it that way, but I would have said more the leaders.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go with
Leading
that.
the way.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Leading the way.
Okay.
So to kick off, well, probably one of the easiest ways to do that would be for those who aren't aware of Berlinkys, obviously, which can't be many, let's be honest. Tell us about the venue.
Where will we start?
Take that one.
There's a lot to tell about Berlinkys, and I think that's what makes us special and unique. We're not just a straightforward bar. We're not just a restaurant. We're not just entertainment and live music. We're everything rolled into one on Sucky Hall Street. And I think Sucky Hall Street makes us even more special because it is a special street in Glasgow. It's a street that has history. Hospitality-wise, I think has deep-rooted hospitality that's coming back, and we're really proud to be part of that and having something special that it's making it a location for people to come to Sucky Hall Street, and I'm really proud of that.
Yeah. No, I mean, like you said, Sucky Hall Street has a long history.
Yeah.
Going back many years of iconic venues.
Yeah.
Being in, Sucky Hall Street is a destination for nightclubs, bars, all manner of entertainment venues, which had been kind of lacking for a period of time. To probably be fair, it became a bit of a student destination for student venues, which is a bad thing, but it became quite a sectioned area of the city. Would that be fair? The kind of city kind of broke into Merchant City, the city centre, and then Sucky Hall Street was more an out of the way thought. Would that be fair?
And people often say that we've not been up this part of Glasgow for ages, and again they've made their destination to come to Berlinkys, which is great. And we're all about the development of Sucky Hall Street, and not just development of the pavements and the roads, which are a factor, but of other hospitality businesses been born around us. And a lot of people, again, we've got some great places that are opening around us, and people are saying, oh, you've got so and so. No, bring it on. The more people that are coming up this end of Sucky Hall Street, the better. We want to create that vibe that we knew that when I was young, we went to Sucky Hall Street, you had a choice. You were walking down Sucky Hall Street, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to go in there, and you always had a great night. That's what we want.
Well, I mean, you mentioned choice, and we'll touch on that kind of later on. But from the venue's perspective, what prompted the investment in Sucky Hall Street? Why Berlinkys in Sucky Hall Street? Why was that the choice? Because obviously it is very different to anything else that is in Sucky Hall Street, or essentially in Glasgow, to be fair.
Yeah, I think that's been a decision that was made by our owner of having a vision, and that vision is still held very high of what he wants, what he sees, what's happening around of other locations, not just in Scotland but in the UK and actually abroad as well, of let's bring a bit of the glamour and the bit of the fun that is needed now. People don't want to go out now and just have a having a beer and I'm sitting at the bar, they want something to look at, they want something to listen to, they want to engage, they want to talk to the person next to them that's saying, did you just see that lassie on the table dancing? Do you know we can get up in the benches and dance? You know, like all these things. We want to then bring talent of the musicians that we're with and that play with us. They're now we're now their home, and developing that. So there's lots of branches that people don't realise when they come in. They say we're going up to Sauchiehall Street, and they walk in, and usually it's like, whoa, what have we walked into? Because it's fun.
Yep.
You know, and that's what we want.
It's not just a night out, it's an experience. I think you experience Berlinkys.
Yeah.
You don't just have a night out there.
No, I totally agree, and it's something that we've talked about in other aspects. It's what we talk about through the magazine.
Yeah.
Is that's key to everything now is experience.
Yes.
Nobody wants stack it high, sell it cheap.
No.
Everybody's a customer, right?
Yes.
And when you go out, everybody wants everything now. They want the great surroundings, they want the nice atmosphere, they want the good drinks, the good cocktails, the quality food. And if that's not there, or if it's getting done in the cheap, for want of a better word, they vote with their feet and go elsewhere.
And that's often what happens is venues will focus on that one thing, the amazing food or the amazing music or that really specific cocktail drinks. But what we're trying to do at Berlinkys is bring all that together and be very good at everything. That's pressure though. That means that we have to make sure that our venue is up to scratch, because we all know that there'll be judgment on when you go to the toilet. You know, oh, that toilet doors, or, you know, we have a button in the toilet plays music. Well, you know, it's wee things like that where going to the toilet, you've got a glitter ball and a button that you press to honk a right good dance tune. That's the kind of thing that you come back from the toilet, it's a discussion. I've just been for a pee and I press that button and you know,
a wee boogie in the
I was honking a glitter ball in the toilet.
You were.
You know, or the discussions about our great food, that's something that people don't expect. They kind of come in and they'll go, we know that it's music, we know that we've got a show team, we know that they've got aerial acts, but they sit down, they look at our menu and they go, whoa, I didn't. So we feel as if we've wrapped it all up in one. Yep. Berlinkys is the kind of essence of what we're doing.
I mean, something we get fed back a lot from venues that we work with across the UK, and we get a lot of feedback that venues are struggling, venues are challenged to try and come up with solutions and ideas how to drive footfall, right? One of the things that we've been talking about as a magazine and kind of quite vocal about is, as much as there is challenges across the industry, which we're all more than aware of from external sources, we've also talked about the importance of understanding what we as an industry can do better to move the industry forward.
Yeah.
And one of the things that's been really kind of key for us is talking about having an identity of your own as a venue, as opposed to just trying to replicate what seems to be the trend at the time or what seems successful somewhere else. And kind of case in point, you have very successful venue in Glasgow, Wonderbar, that's been operating fantastically well as a team and the guys for a period of time, but that became the go-to place. If it was live acoustic music, a kind of beer hall theme, all of a sudden within a kind of the next 12 months since they launch and they invest in what they're doing as a venue, you got other venues starting to replicate the same thing. But not replicating it to the same maybe standard and try to cut corners and just kind of focusing, like you said earlier on one element of it. We've got an acoustic singer, but rather than having a really high quality acoustic singer, we're going for somebody that's £100 for 4 hours, and the experience is then diluted for the customer. Does that, have you found it difficult to expand on the experience part of it and constantly remain kind of fresh and different? That's probably something that's directed at you as well, Lisa, because obviously you're a big part of the...
Yeah, I mean, from my perspective, in terms of, so we have the show team that are resident in Berlinkys, and so I'm very lucky to head up that as choreographer and come up with the concepts for the dancers and what their track is for the evening, for a Friday or Saturday. And then of course we've got our Sunday events, which are different again. We've got our musicals mania event that happens every so often, and various other events, you know, special occasions like Mother's Days, Father's Days, that kind of thing. But what I feel as choreographer and base there is that I'm always surprised, because when we get in our aerial acts or circus acts, I'm like, are we all aware this is world class?
Yeah.
Like, we are what we're watching. I mean, the people that we've been able to get the talent,
Yep.
and the kind of diversity in terms of
Yeah.
acts that Berlinkys has brought so far is just, it wows me.
Yeah.
And as an artistic person, as someone who is always trying to, because you're in a venue, you're trying to make things different all the time,
Yeah.
because you know that you're going to get that repeat customer, as well as you're going to get the person who's never been in Berlinkys before.
Yep.
So you're trying to touch all bases, but it's lovely to see that we're getting that newness all the time.
Yeah.
And it's very inspiring, because if I'm at that venue, I want to be putting out new stuff all the time. So what's coming into Berlinkys is inspiring me as much as we were putting it out.
Yeah,
give to
it's
the
a cycle.
customer.
That,
It is a cycle.
If it's something that you guys have a clear passion in, and this is something that I've always been really vocal about. It's why you do what you do matters just as much
Yeah.
as what you do.
Yeah, of course.
And you can see anytime I've been to Berlinkys, I mean, I've
Many.
constantly.
Sorry.
Laura usually gets
a
a text from me on a
I
Friday
have
night
to
saying,
get a table.
"Have you got a table?" And it's,
Should we get a wee flag now? Your
I'd
table
love to
showing
say,
up?
I'd love to say I get special treatment, but usually the answer's no, to be honest. But in the number of times, and I've got a kind of eclectic group of friends who are all a wee bit mad. But when we're in the venue, there's things that really stand out and really kind of come to the fore for me that sometimes I think people would miss. And it's wee things like the table service. I think it's one of the venues that the table service is done right for me.
Yep.
Because many times we've sat as a group at the table, or a booth if we manage to get one.
Never.
And we're sat and we don't have to scan a
Yeah.
QR code, because the person that's
Someone's
passing
there.
by comes across and goes, "Same again." Yeah, it's easier.
And that's all about not just, we're talking about the creative, we're talking about the venue. You can have all that and see if you've not got the right staff on the ground, means nothing. Because you're going to walk away saying, do you know what, I had to wait, I had to get through the 20 bar, or, you know, we're all about eye contact, speaking to them, speaking to the staff and saying, because obviously for them, the more they sell, you know, the more they have, the better. They're on tips and everything else.
Yeah.
So we want to motivate them. We want to make sure that they are looked after and they're harnessed, because if we don't have them, doesn't matter what our venue looks like, how much money we bring in or you know, spend on acts coming up. If you can't get a drink and you're annoyed that you've not got a drink, or you've not got your chicken tenders that are served, or know of the possibility of chicken tenders or what
Yes.
champagne we have, then that means nothing.
100% agree. It's all part of that experience.
Yeah.
Whereas if you solely focus on one element
Yeah.
of it, you can lose the rest. They're all as important as each other. And
Yeah.
like you said, it's great having phenomenal entertainment where people are
Yeah.
wild, but if that soon wears off,
Yeah.
if something as simple as the toilets are a mess, or you can't get a drink at the bar,
Yeah.
or you're searching for somebody, or you're having to scan a QR code and
All
it's
of a
not
sudden,
really
the
working.
entertainment's not that entertaining. if you're not
No,
getting what you came to get, which is a
100%.
drink and some nice food and a seat. Or, you know.
100%. Like everybody talks about a cost of living, which is a phrase I hate. The word, there shouldn't be a cost to living,
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned. For us, it's a cost of what you choose to spend
Yeah.
your money on, and
Yeah.
what you choose
Yeah.
to entertain yourself with. And at the moment, as I say, for us, there's a lot of obstacles to going out on a night out.
Yeah.
You know, you've got the normal WhatsApp groups, and if your WhatsApp groups are anything like mine, that it's hard work trying to organise somebody. Oh, well, I've got this that night, and I've got my hair done, and that's just the guys. So there's a number of reasons for people to go, oh, you know what, we'll just forget it, we'll just stay on the night, we'll
Yeah.
just do this. What we've been really vocal about is trying to encourage venues to look at as many possible ways to give a customer what they want,
Yep.
and give them a reason to get off the couch, get their ass out the door, and go and enjoy
Yep.
something with their friends, family, or whoever it may be, in different ways. And it's something I think you have hit a really sweet spot on,
Mhm.
in the fact that you the offering that's there, if you're a group of people,
Yeah.
2, 3, 4 or more, that has different age groups to that group, that have different tastes, whether it be food, drink, entertainment, it's an easy decision to make because you're ticking a lot of boxes. That might be the initial reason for going, because it ticks a lot of boxes. But I think on walking through the door, having the wow factor, having the experience that they have across all elements of the venue, I think people are then, well, certainly friends that I know, are almost changed to, this is great. They've been in dates to it because, and they've been in different ways because of the experience they had, if that makes sense.
And it's because of the different offerings. You know, we know people and have people that come in that want to come in and be away for 8, 9 o'clock. They want to be out in the afternoon. They want to get that train, wee glass of, you know, something in the train, walk up to Sauchiehall Street, and they're with us for a couple of hours in the afternoon. Most of them don't want to leave. The tables that we have are for 3 hours, and you know, when you respond saying, "Are you sure you just want 3 hours?" No, 3 hours is fine. You know, and it's about, this is amazing. I wasn't expecting this, and I wasn't expecting that level of, we've got an aerial act, we've got the dancers, we've got a great musician, table serve, all the rest of it. But you can have that option on a Saturday afternoon, or then the transition of what a Saturday, taking that an example, is, you know, our entertainment starts at 3 o'clock on a Saturday, and that's us all the way through. So, you know, we just have, it's just a big journey on a Saturday of what we can give to whoever's sitting in front of us. But we have so many different groups on a Saturday. Same on a Friday night, you know, our entertainment starts from 6 o'clock. You know, the show team are on, what time does our show team start?
8 o'clock on a Friday.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
I mean, that was going to be one of my questions. So I constantly hear and constantly get conversations with venues about, oh, we're having to change our model because people aren't going out at night anymore. They want to go out during the day. And you see a lot of, you know, the emergence of day discos or day raves, and people buying tickets for, you know, kind of standalone gigs and stuff like that. I'm always, maybe it's the old school part of me, or maybe it's the kind of wider aspect. I think that becomes a bit of a knee-jerk reaction. Yes, there's going to be maybe people that want to do that. You know, that want to come out during the day, have an experience during the day, and be home for 7, 8 o'clock. But if everybody, for me, and this is maybe a question to you, for us, if that's the way all of the venues operate and they push everything towards just day aspects or day experiences, you're almost culturalising, if that's a word. I don't even know if it is, but I think I just made one up. You're almost, you know, putting people into a box where that's the only option they've got. I don't think that's the right way. I don't know what your thoughts are yourself, but
I would agree. You know, we get asked for tables with an arrival time at 11 p.m. You know, so there's not, that is one side of a group or a bunch of people. We've also got people who have gone out for dinner, have done a bit of the, I'm going here, there and everywhere, and then we're going to end our night in Berlinkys because we're open till 3, you know. So it's about making sure that you're ticking all the boxes and you're covering all that, the entertainment being on that late, we've got a DJ on that late, you know. So it's a constant spinning plates. You're constantly trying to make sure that you're doing everything, but you're doing it well. And you're making sure that you are speaking to the people who want to come in during the day, but you're also speaking to people who want to arrive at 11 o'clock. You know, so
we do offer that in terms of our Sunday events, because they are daytime events. So if that's your kind of bag, if you want to be out, then there is that option.
There are solutions for it, but it's not kind of forcing the customer base to that's the new way of being. Does that make sense?
And then it's midweek. You know, a lot of emphasis is on, and as a hospitality is, you know, a lot of it is about Friday, Saturday. But you know, now people don't work Monday to Friday. You know, that they are out, they're working shifts. They're off on a Wednesday night. They're off on a Thursday night. You know, we have an offering of, you know, Wednesday nights are open mic night. Thursday night is bandioke, which is the greatest night. If I didn't have to go out any night of the week, it would be a Thursday that I would want to go. It is just fun, old school fun.
Are you in any night of the week? No, I don't think you are you?
In the house.
Aye.
No, I'm not in. No. So yeah, it's, you know, people walk in again on a Thursday thinking, oh, I'll just have a wee wander and see what's up here, and you walk into people singing with a live band on stage, singing Dolly Parton 9 to 5 and having their best life.
And everybody hyping them up big time.
And that's what it's about. It's not about, you're rotten. It's about you're singing that, when you're all singing along. It is a great atmosphere that is created on a Thursday night. Thursday night used to be my night, where that's where you went out. It was always a Thursday. Friday and a Saturday were with your friends. Thursday was with work. So again, that's part of my job as being sales manager, is making sure that you're not just talking to people who are coming through the door on a Friday and a Saturday. You're talking to the groups of shift workers that are coming out on a Wednesday night or a Thursday night, and making sure that we are aware that is their weekend and we've got an offering.
One of the things that I have a huge amount of respect for you guys on, and something I think you do very well, is the team at Berlinkys are not wearing hundreds of hats at the one time. And what I mean by that, right, before you start filling faces up,
as we get our hats.
what I mean by that is you've got the wider team, obviously yourself, Gavin, the team, Brian, everybody else that's involved. But you've not got one person trying to do all of those different roles. You've not got one person trying to manage the bar, manage the stock, manage the entertainment, manage everything else that's there. It is a team effort. And then that comes across anytime you speak to anybody from the venue or the group, that it is, I know it sounds really cheesy, but a kind of family engagement. It's you all take it personally.
I like everyone that works at Berlinkys, and I've not worked in that kind of environment as much as I've been in the performing arts for over 20 years. Like, I've not worked in this scenario before. And what I like about coming to Berlinkys is the bar staff, the waiting staff, the kitchen staff. Like, I can speak to them all. They're all lovely people. It feels quite collaborative, like from the minute you walk in. And there's a respect there for all the different jobs. Like, the show team are held in high regard, which obviously for me is lovely. But so
is
should...
that because they're divas? No?
But so should the chefs. It's really important, like, that we all realise how hard everybody works. And I hear it from the show team all the time. Like, the staff are brilliant, or that was really helpful, or or even like our bouncers, they'll help with equipment and, with props and things. Like, it takes a village. And everybody's great. Like, they genuinely are.
And that I think, again, is part of the reason for the success of the venue, that nobody's trying to, well, you would probably disagree with me, but nobody's trying to do too much. Does that make sense? Or everybody's really focused on what they're good at to make it better for everybody.
That's important to not stay in your lane, but do what you're good at. And because you've got the collaboration of operational, I kind of sit and float. I'm in my own wee island, to be fair, and I pull on resources of, I need the show team, then I need Gavin, our general manager, and Abby, we need our management team. But then I might be talking to the chefs because I'm putting on an event where we're providing 200 with food. It's all about making sure that you're pulling in when you need, and that's what we're very good at.
Yeah, because that was why I was kind of reverting back to it, because I think there's a lot of venues out there. And I think that it's almost a bit of a false economy at times. And as I say, we know there's challenges out there for costs and things like that, staffing. But it can almost be a false economy to cut back and staff to a point where you're having a general manager, for example, or somebody running a venue that's wearing that many hats that they can't see the wood for the trees, or they're just ticking boxes to try and get to where they think they need to be as a venue. And then it comes back to the cycle of then trying to do everything in the cheap because they don't have the contacts, or they don't have the access to the entertainment or resources or funding or sponsorship for some of the brands that they have, which makes it more difficult rather than, kind of bringing somebody in that specialises in that area that can help them move forward with it and focus more. Would that be fair?
And I'm sure people in the venue ask what on earth I do, because I'm in and out, I float in and out. But a big part of my job, or made it really important, is, and we've talked about this, is collaboration and partnership. And internally within hospitality, I'm really tight with lots of people that do my job in other venues, we help each other out when, you know, there's been an electrical shortage and they've got a group of 25 sitting, you know, it's a phone call, it's a WhatsApp to say, do you have the space? Of course we do. That, you know, it's not a we've done that, it's about we all help each other. But equally, there are opportunities that we are maybe given that we can't accommodate, or vice versa. Somebody's phoned us or phoned me and said, Laura, I've got the opportunity of working with and I can't do it. We're full that day. Do you have, and we go in as a team of I'm working, and I feel that's essential in hospitality. Instead of that, what a lot of people will think is, you know, when we go to the example, your award show, you know, we're sitting around all these people that it's not their so and so, it's a complete, I think it should always be like that. It's the complete
100%.
opposite. It's like we all know what we have to do. We all do a turn. We all, you know, it's good to sit with somebody and people who understand what we're going through.
Yeah.
And
Better together, right?
well, absolutely, and it makes such a big difference, such a huge difference, I think, and certainly in what I do. And I think that also reflects in the venue, because then there will be times where people will say, we've got our, you know, our works night out. You know, the team will bring their hospitality team to us because you reach out and say, what are you doing for Christmas night out? You know, what are you doing? And vice versa. We will phone them and say, we're coming down to you. Can you? It's the way it should be.
You get just on that. You get glowing praise from one of the venues that we work very closely with.
Okay.
The team at Bucks and Thundercat.
Yeah.
And Michael, who, will be involved in some point with it going into it, but and the team, you know, Simone and Ashley and stuff like that, couldn't speak highly enough when they came to the venue. And that's from a venue that, again, think very similarly to you guys about the service, the quality of the offering, and being individual and offering an experience to people. And that's the thing that we hopefully want to try and inspire. And it's not about teaching people how to suck eggs. No. It's not about saying, our whole thing is not about saying to venues, you're doing what you're doing wrong. It's about how can you do it better? How can you collaborate more? How can you tweak things? Or how can you look at what another venue's doing, not to copy it, but to pull wee bits from what's successful and help your own venue move forward, no matter what
people
way
tend
that
to be
is.
scared of that, you know, as a, oh, you were at that venue. You're like, I'll speak to the bar, I'm just back from wherever I was, and they'll say, where are you? Or we all have nights out where we'll, you know, we had a great night where a lot of the local hotels and local restaurants and bars were like, right, come to Berlinkys, and they come to, it was Bandioke, best night of the week, Thursday, 8:30.
Are you on commission for this Bandioke thing? No.
But it's just about bringing them in and showing them what we do, not as a we do that, but I enjoy then going to their venues and I enjoy seeing what they offer, because again, it's the way it should be.
It's something another good friend of the show and a good friend of the magazine, Louise McLean at Signature Pubs. She does exactly the same thing. She is very passionate about spending time in other venues. She'll go out in Glasgow, she'll go out all over the UK.
You have to get that inspiration. It's the same in my game. Like, I still go to the theatre, I still go and see shows. And as a freelancer, I'm working in other venues and in other scenarios. Right. You're just pulling, even when you don't realise it, you're pulling just inspiration from that. Like you have to be in it to understand. And I guess that this industry is changing and evolving all the time. So if you're just in your bubble and you're only seeing what you do, then you're never going to grow or expand. And,
exactly.
You know, every day should be a school day. You should learn something.
Couldn't agree more. Talking about every day being a school day and the experience, you guys have been involved in, talk about the awards, as you mentioned them. You were double winners last year at our awards.
We were.
Yes.
Can you remember what they were, Laura? Yes.
They're in pride of place in the back.
And we were so proud to have won Venue of the Year, nighttime venue last year. We're a year and a half old, you know, so we opened October last year, and we've hit the ground running. And equally, that does create pressure as well, because when you hit that hard, there's a high expectation
ceiling,
of,
like,
you know,
yeah.
what's next? What are you going to do? I've seen that act. I've been, you know, what's new?
You
So
constantly look at
yeah,
the raise
and
the
that's
bar.
where Lisa is amazing of coming up with the creative ideas of, you know, we'll sit in meetings and there'll be something run, and I think, wow, I can't wait to see that. You know, again, I'll need to come in on a Saturday night.
Oh, the chore.
But we were so thrilled about being acknowledged within the hospitality awards, but also just not, what's the word I'm looking for? Not just acknowledged, but people have been in, people have taken the time to come in and felt it, because that's what we're all about. It's about, again, going back to experience. Yeah.
Well, the thing for our awards is not a lot of people seem to understand, because the industry has been a certain way for a long time, and people's perceptions sometimes of awards are that the awards only go to, you know, the people that spend money with them, or the advertising or whatever, which is absolutely nothing to do with that. I have had emails and requests from people about, oh, how much could we buy the award for, or what do we need to do to win the award? And as I keep constantly saying to people, it's not my decision. It's got nothing to do with me. The awards, our awards, and it's something that, going back to the integrity or the why you do what you do, it's been important from us right from the start that the voting is open, it's transparent, and we give everybody the opportunity to nominate for those few months before we announce the top 5, as it has been this year. Because of the volume, it's going to be top 6 in each category, and then we turn it over to the venues themselves to say, right, you're in the top 6, it's up to you. The one with the most votes wins. We don't decide the vote, all we do is count them, and the one with the most votes wins. It's as simple as that. We've had venues, you know, offering shots for votes and stuff like that. It's interesting to see how serious or how important it is, not from a point of view of an ego or an arrogance point of view, but the work being recognised, if that makes sense. And it's not I presume it's not an ego thing about, oh, look what we've won. It's almost for the teams to be going, look, this is something that the hard work, it's being appreciated. Does that make sense? That's something that's really important to us, to recognise the hard work that goes in. The awards themselves are kind of going back to exactly what you guys were saying, is, you know, we've all been to award ceremonies across multiple industries, and for us they were always quite similar. You know, you could pretty much do the same event with a different badge above the door. It's black tie, 3-course meal, and you're sitting trying to cut a hard carrot that's flying across, and you're a wee bit tipsy and a bit clammy and all that kind of stuff. What was really important to us was that, for me, doesn't reflect the hospitality industry. It doesn't reflect the characters, the personality of people in the industry. It's not a formal corporate. Some venues are, yes, but for us, the vast majority of people in the industry, we want to put on a night where they can be entertained, a night where they can let loose and enjoy being entertained by somebody else. Because, as I say, sometimes certain aspects in venues maybe don't feel as appreciated as they do. Maybe it's somebody that works behind the bar or whatever else, and having them involved as much as we can and putting on a night where they can be entertained and really enjoy themselves is really, really important to us. One of the things I was kind of keen to ask you guys, certainly because last year was the first year you were involved, and you guys were obviously performing on stage with Natalie last year as well, which
awesome. We had a great time.
We had an absolutely massive amount of comments on you guys opening the show last year, which was phenomenal.
It was great fun. It really
absolutely
was.
Phenomenal. But how did you find it as an award, the first kind of experience of our awards and aspects? How did you find it? Was it what you guys were expecting, or?
Well, I had a fantastic night. It was lovely just to bring the team. It was the first time we brought the team out of Berlinkys.
There was a lot of you there, to be fair. The
totally.
stage was full. Sasha Lord, when he was presenting one of the awards, he was kind of drowned. It was like, all these people are coming, where are they coming from?
We brought the village. Totally, as we said. It was lovely for our aspect to be involved from the start of the night right through to the end, actually, as, you know, front and centre performing, but also experiencing it like all the other venues and being at the table. And everybody all suited and booted up, and ready for a good night out. So it really was quite an experience for us to be part of that, and to showcase Berlinkys on that stage.
Yeah.
Was really something quite special. That it was just really it was a really special night for us, and I think just obviously winning the awards was just like cherry on the cake kind of stuff.
You've certainly done very, very well. First year open, taking 2 awards. That was unheard of before. That's a first, to be honest with you. Most of the venues that have been kind of multiple winners of venues that have been operating for a period of time. Radisson Red won, I think there's the most that they've won is 3 in the one night. But they were operating for a while. Bucks have won multiple awards. Signature have won quite a few. But as a venue that's in its first year opening, to pick up 2 of the kind of main awards of the night was impressive.
I guess it's
really
all about
impressive.
like stamping your identity of like who you are and what you're doing, what the offering is. Like people understand, you know, you might not know it until you really experience it until you get there, but you understand like that Berlinkys is a night where you're going to experience.
It gives you a flavour for it, right? And I think that was something that kind of fed back to us a lot and commented on. One of the things that we try to do, and like you said, it's a kind of constant learning curve even for us for the awards with the different types of entertainment. And I probably appreciate your challenges quite a lot because trying to cater for a room that has venues from the Balmoral Hotel to Cameron House to, you know, the garage and to other aspects of very different types of offering and different types of staff or thought processes. The thing for us is there can't be any arrogance or stereotypes. No. For us, it's just enjoy the night, like your hair and just enjoy it.
Have fun.
Aye, exactly. Yeah. So from our point of view, it is hard, however. Yeah. And trying to get that balance between, you know, wild, which we are, but I mean, we've had the one that stands out for me more than most is we had Sander Nation, the boys who are brilliant. I love them to death. And E17 on the year before you guys were there as well. Yeah. And I was thinking, right, we need to put Xander Nation on first because I don't know how they're going to go down. I don't know if that's too full on, even for us, for people with the bounce bingo and stuff like that. We'll put E17 on at the end, and that, you know, and I remember Natalie James, the host, who's brilliant, come over to me while Xander Nation were on, and she went, thanks for that. And I went,
you need to follow that.
What? And she went, I need to calm them down after that. What the fuck was going on there? Because again, the thing for me was standing back and watching. It don't mind me saying the GM at Duck and Waffle in Edinburgh. You know, a very nice, prestigious restaurant in Edinburgh. Up on the table, swinging his t-shirt around the top of his head, while, you know, saying here we fucking go at the top of his voice. And that's no way. That meant a lot to me, as daft as it may sound, because
it's just embracing the fun of it.
It's people dropping the stereotype. It's people dropping the, you know, we have to be, you know, and looking at it's something that's really, really important to us. And seeing a room, you know, essentially 800 people in a room, just letting go and enjoying it. And even the guys, even Terry and the guys from E17 who were standing at the back of the room were going, I don't know how to follow that. That's, you know, and these are guys that are seasoned professionals that are performing in large stadiums. And he's like, I don't know how we follow that. So having that's where I've got a kind of added appreciation for what you guys do, is to trying to keep that fresh and how to tick those boxes.
You do have to be reactive, and even though like on the night of a Friday and Saturday we have a plan, we are always aware that we might have to change it, we might have to react to it. I mean, or it's like, oh, this group are coming in, or we've been phoned, this group are coming into the PDR bar, can you just go up, can you give them shots, can you do the feathers, right, 2 people are going on that, right, if we go downstairs, right, you've got the sparklers, like, you know, it's so
and I think that's what's quite nice, is that we have a plan of the girls are all rehearsed, they've got these amazing costumes. The costumes in Berlinkys we need to take a moment for.
I was impressed with the costumes that there was, at the feathers, and
we're very lucky.
Wow.
We're very lucky.
And if it has a whole podcast in itself, I think, talking about our costumes. But again, it's not just we don't just buy them of just, oh, that'll look nice. It's about the creative aspect and about the quality and how things sparkle, and it's just insane. There's so much importance put on in what you guys wear, and of course then
there's a lot of pride goes into just making a dance for Berlinkys. Like each and every dance is a concept in my head, you know, and I pitch that concept to the owner, down to the music choices and how long the tracks are and entrances and exits, and using the space to the best of our ability, knowing that we still have an audience there who can move and walk about. It's not a sit down watch a show venue. So there's a lot of challenges there as well, and we have adapted along the way of like, how does that work, and can they come through the audience, can we interact, can we get up at a table during a dance, is the table going to be free, am I whitened it, do you know what I mean, like there's
as a customer going to be catching somebody on the way
correct down. I mean, somebody did say to me last week, because sometimes I perform still at Berlinkys, and I'd said to this gentleman, can I just jump up on your table, and he was like, what? And I was like, I'm going to do a dance. He went, don't fall. I was like, I've no intention of, I'm a professional dancer.
It's not the plan.
Just you sit there, you're fine. I was just being
just smiling and joy.
Totally. So yeah, there is a lot of thought goes into each and every single performance. As you know, the bands, of course, they've got their sets, and they've curated that as well for Berlinkys. And also our aerial and circus acts that come in, they have very specialist acts that, you know, they have requirements that are going to make it the best it can be. But as resident team, we are always going, right, that works, and a lot of the time we're not getting to rehearse in the space. So there's a lot of challenges, but we make it work.
But that attention to detail, and that matters, right? So you can have the best choreographer, you can have the best routine in place, but again, going back to the thing I was talking about earlier on, whereas a lot of people would go, I'll just get whatever outfits we can. It cheapens the experience. If does that make sense?
Absolutely. We get a lot of comments on just how we look. And I think because we break the fourth wall, so the dance finishes, rounds of applause, and we immediately go into the crowd and we start getting people up, we start talking to people. And I like that from my aspect, being a professional dancer for over 20 years. I've been involved in a lot of, you know, events like your OnTrade events or whatever, where it's been very much us and them. And I like the aspect of Berlinkys going into the audience and speaking to people, because they're like, oh, you're a real person. You know, and it's like, are you having a good night? Oh, it's your birthday, you've got a birthday crown on. Oh, happy birthday, welcome to the club. Or, you know, and it's people warm to that, and then we're having an experience together. 100%. It's not just like, oh, they're the dancers and we don't talk to them.
It's a show, you can't.
And people are still shocked about that when you're standing in amongst them, or you're sitting down saying, thanks for letting me dance on your table, and there's some guy going, you're welcome, you know, like it wasn't an issue, you know. But you know, then you're encouraging women to get up and dance, and you know, it's just again that unexpected for people that haven't been in before, thinking, I've got to speak to the team tonight, and the girls are coming round, and you know, can I try on the hat, or you know, lots of pictures, and that's what you want.
It makes them feel part of it, and that's it's the same thought process with our awards. Because the awards for us are essentially not just to recognise the people in the industry, but it's to showcase what we are trying to promote from the industry about the experience. Because there's no point in, for me, there's no point in being a hypocrite and saying we think this is what you should do from an experience point of view, this is what venues are doing well, and then not do it, try to do it ourselves, and try to kind of say, well, if this is what we can do, what can you guys do? Yous have got venues, yous have got the access to the same sort of stuff that we've got. You guys should obviously be able to kind of look at how to do that and create it.
But then you do well because you are, again, it's about collaboration, partnership. You know, we all know you guys, we all know the magazine, we all know what you do, and that makes it easier for us and you to be able to pull on, you know, I know they do that well, or let's do that, or because that also makes us want to go to the awards, because we know we're not going to be sitting, you know, in a suit itching going,
the fact you're even doing this podcast. Do you know what I mean?
I
think
it's
behind
really
the scenes. Like, people like to know more, they like to know the people behind it. Like, we're all just wanting to be understood more, and we want to understand each other more. So I think, like, the fact you're doing this podcast, that like helps massively. Just that kind of, it's not behind closed doors. It's not, you know, you're opening yourself up to like, this is how we it
should be accessible, because essentially, you know, hospitality for us, and it's always been a thing for me, is this is it's not just about a drink, it's not just about food, it's not just even about entertainment. For me and a lot of people I know, it's where people have met their partners, it's where memories are created, it's where people's friendships have grown and established and became something. It's a social, a part of people's social experience and their own
They love what you
personalities
do.
grown. Yes,
And I think that if you're passionate about what you do, and I smile on the inside when I talk about Berlinkys, and am I a salesperson? Yes, but I don't need to be, because I just talk about what we do and it makes me smile. Because if I didn't work for Berlinkys, I would want to be in Berlinkys. I would want to, because time's precious for people. When you're organising a night out in those WhatsApp groups and you go and you get to that destination, you think, this is boring. Great, I've got to sit and talk to Sandra for a while, and I don't really want to
Sandra for accounts.
Yeah, I see that all the time. Poor Sandra. But if you're sitting with Sandra from accounts, you then say, gosh, look at that, it's a great tune, that acoustic guy was great. Then we've got you guys on doing a great dance and on the table. Then we've got somebody coming on a ring with fire eaters, and it is the most random place that even Sandra or
before you know it, Sandra for accounts is up on the table with her hair on fire dancing.
More than you know. So that's what makes it easier for us, I think.
It's been a gift for me, to have a venue, to have, we have our own dance studio upstairs that we rehearse in, to have my own team. As a freelancer, I have been very much like all over the country, up and down, working on my own a lot of the time. As much as I'm working with groups of people, you come away with that. It's what has been really special for me, is to have a team and be also part of a wider team. And to bring these ideas to fruition. It isn't just me going, oh, this would be great, and we'll add this. That it does take the village, like I said before. It's everybody's opinions and everybody's ideas coming together to make a thing.
It must mean a lot to you, and you must get a lot of satisfaction as well from an artist point of view.
100%.
To see,
this is the closest I'm getting to, like, choreographing Coachella. You know what I mean? So, and that's how I think. That big. That sounds silly, but that's my platform. That's my stage. That's that's what I'm working with. And the amount of pride and the energy and effort is, you don't just go, oh, it's just a bar in Glasgow. It's not.
No,
it isn't. And the minute you start thinking about that, and it's like, we'll just do whatever, or we'll repeat that, or we'll shove that on. That's where the sparkle dulls.
The edge wears off. I made a similar conversation with one of our guests that's going to be on the show coming very soon, is Caitlin McAllister from Ministry of Sound, CEO from Ministry of Sound, and it's something that I spoke to her about recently as well, as about the experience, and obviously where Ministry started as a club in Elephant and Castle in London, to being a kind of world leader. But if you'd have said to somebody at the Ministry 35 years ago, that this nightclub in Elephant and Castle in London was going to be an icon globally for an experience, they would have probably laughed at you, but that's where they are now. So having that passion and that focus and that attention to detail, I'm a big advocate of, as most people that know me kind of know, I don't like saying no to things. My philosophy is always say yes and then find a reason or find a way to do it.
Yes.
Because you never know where that will take you.
So true.
Over the last 5 years, we've been involved from making movies to all manner of things, and as I say, sitting here doing podcasts today, because you never know where life or what avenue is going to take you unless you actually experience it or try to do something as best you can. It might lead you somewhere else. You might find a passion or an angle or an insight that floats your boat or lights your spark or whatever it may be. But I think there's a lot of people, not just in the industry but across the board, that are, for one reason or another, kind of closing themselves off a wee bit, or thinking the doom loop that's around the industry sometimes. It's kind of maybe easy for them to go, oh no, that's and be kind of penned down by it.
There is a lot to blame. There is a blame culture. People will blame a lot of things that we have to fight against. We are fighting against, the the traffic, the roadworks in Glasgow, all the things that stop people thinking, I'm going to come into Glasgow and go, whether it's to Berlinkys, whether it's the theatre, whether it's for something to eat. There is a hurdle now where people are is put in front of them, and it's hard to make that go away and to change people's minds on that. And that's why the destination experience is so important, because it's like, we know we're going to have a great night, and we're going to laugh, and we're going to there's a lot fighting against us, and you can focus in on that, and you can blame it.
It can consume you. I mean,
Of course it
consumes
can.
myself a lot of the time, and sometimes it can get overwhelming. If you'd asked us if we'd have wanted to be having conversations with, political leaders and stuff like that, it wouldn't have been where my thought process was. But as I say, we just want to champion the industry in as many areas as we can. But the focus for us is always positive versus negative. Is always, I would rather look at the positives and everything and look what can be done, look how we can go over it, because there's always going to be challenges, right? It, maybe not to the extent that there is over the last 5 years, but there is always going to be a hurdle. There's always going to be something in the background that will prove challenging, because it's just the way life is. But unless you look at how you can make it better, as opposed to, it's their fault, we can't do that. Well, what have you tried to do to make it better?
It's out of the box thinking, and it's being creative
and working
around what
around,
you've got.
Working around it, because it's always going to be there. There's always going to be some roadwork, some the LEZ, we've always got some hurdle in front of us, and we could sit here and fill a whole show full of that.
100%, and I'm sure one of our co-hosts from moving forward will be able to do that very easily. But you're 100% right, and for us, as I say, you guys are a testament to what can be done if you look at not the negative side of it, look at how you can make it better, how you can drive your venue to be the best at what they do and the offering for you guys, because you're not trying to be everything to everybody. You're not trying to be anybody else or another venue. You're happy and proud to be the venues and the offering that you guys have, and that's genuinely from us a massive round of applause for that. It's something that should be celebrated at every given opportunity, because these are doing a fantastic job.
And we'll pass that on, because it's all very well us sitting here, but again, it's all important of passing that on, telling again. I have the pleasure of being around people a lot of the time during the week, telling me that and saying, but I'll come back into venue and saying I was at this event today, or I was at that, and they said, because again, it wasn't me that poured the drink, it wasn't me that put the champagne in the fridge, it wasn't me that's standing on stage in an amazing costume. I'm just standing here going, I brought somebody.
Thank God it wasn't me either, to be fair.
First time.
There's always this year's awards.
Exactly. But it's to be platformed and to be showcased at this level, and doing the podcast, like, it's really appreciated, because it's putting us on the map all the time to let people know that they are welcome at Berlinkys. Like, if you've not experienced Berlinkys yet, then now's the time.
That's the way we'll probably end the show. So I'll ask you both, two things, right? Two final things for each of you. One is a question I ask a lot of people, right? If you weren't in the role that you're in just now, and what you're doing just now, what would you see yourself being doing? If for example, if you weren't a choreographer or a dancer, what would you see yourself being? And the same to you.
Okay. You got one up your sleeve, Laura.
I have a sleeve, but I don't really know what's in it. Anything around people for me, I'm a magnet. I talk, and I'm drawn to people, and I'm always positive. There's nothing fake about it. A bit like yourself, I'm maybe not as blunt as you, but
overwhelming. I think I've been called at points.
But I always say it as it is. I think it's really important, and I think that anything around people, I will do. I don't think I've changed. So I'm quite adaptable to, as long as I'm talking to people and speaking to people and looking at. I'm really aware of. I go out a lot I go to networking events. I'll go. And again, the staff will say, "Oh, are you walking into that event by yourself today?" And I'm like, yeah. But again, I'm going to start bringing some of our staff to these things, because they're not used to that next generation are not used to walking into somewhere where there's 100 people that you don't know and you're sitting down talking about what you do for a living. It's alien to them because I'm not typing it, I'm not sitting on a phone doing it, and there is an extent of that as well. So sorry, back to the question. I would be doing something around people, whatever it may be. I know that's a bit of a not really giving you an answer.
That was a non-committal answer, to be honest with you. I can get it. I could see you being a teacher or something like that. No.
I have absolutely no tolerance over that. No, I couldn't.
Not the
I couldn't say what I need to say to them. No.
Okay, that was
I'm now
a
interested
definitive.
to see what you're going to say about me.
No, I will. I'll let you think, and then I'll formulate
I'm
an
a people person as well. I don't do very well on my own, and I like collaborations. I definitely would have to be with other people. It wouldn't be a solitary job. I do wear other hats as a freelancer. I do wear other hats. I also have a podcast.
You do? I was. That was almost an opportunity for a shameless plug. But no. Please carry on.
So over the last couple of years, I've been lucky enough to build my podcast, The Brawn the Brave, and probably more in kind of presenting and hosting opportunities, which I've been doing over the last couple of years, and I get a lot from that. So taking the podcast out of the studio and in front of a live audience, and then hosting events and stuff is something that I can kind of see in my future.
Right.
When I'm not putting the sparkly costume on anymore. Sad times.
You could kind of combine the both. You could do the
listen,
podcast.
I have Berlinkys all the time, and I'm like, here I am in a costume with a microphone in my hand. Please, I'll just do that. Right, okay. So so it definitely would have to be people centric. Like, people are great, and people of Scotland are great.
Yeah.
I think also that's a reason why I was feeling quite proud that you'd said to me to come on. From a sales management point of view in hospitality, that's something that we'll hear from the GMs and we'll hear from lots of people that are really important voices. But from what I do within hospitality, we're all the wee working ants. We're the ones that are, and it's nice for somebody to have a voice for us that often are the one that wear lots of hats because we're doing lots of things and we're running events and we're speaking to people in venue and we're tying things up. That I'm really proud to be part of that. And it's nice that there's a voice.
100%, and it's great to have you guys on, and it's been a pleasure for you to join us today, and certainly the first show.
You're not getting away without telling us what you would be if you weren't doing this job.
I know what a lot of people would probably rather I was doing. I think I was always quite sport orientated,
Right.
so. Before I get far too fat and far too old, I was football was my thing. But for one reason or another, the old violin came out in the sob stories. My knee didn't take it and stuff like that. Some probably wouldn't think it was good enough, but I was all right. But more like you guys, I don't really tend to put myself in a kind of box. Like if you'd asked me 5 years ago, you're going to be running a trade title for the hospitality industry that's UK wide. You're going to be doing a podcast. You're going to have one of the biggest awards events in the hospitality industry. I'd be like, nah, it's not going to be that's madness. You're going to be sitting. And I sometimes sit, and I had this conversation with Michael Bergson. I've had a conversation with a few people. We sat recently and had a meeting with some of the political leaders. And I kind of took a step back for a minute and was looking around this table of 25 people, and I'm like, I'm just a boy for Glasgow. I'm just a boy for Glasgow. These are all really senior people in their industry leaders of groups and venues and political leaders, and I sometimes get imposter syndrome and sitting in those situations because I think I don't own a venue, and it's something it's maybe critical of myself where I think I don't own a venue, we don't operate a venue, but I care about the industry a lot, and we speak to hundreds of people across the industry on a weekly, monthly basis, not just Scotland, but across the UK. And the conversations that we're having and that collaborative approach about how can we help, how can we make it easier, how can we showcase things that are going well as highlighting problems or issues that need to be addressed in the industry. But again, the theme for us has to kind of be consistent where there's no hidden agenda, there's no falseness. We are the way we are. We're transparent. We're not perfect. We're maybe sometimes a bit overly vocal, but we do what we say in the tin, if that makes sense. There's no hidden agenda or arrogance with us. We just want better for the industry. And again, one of the reasons why we're really keen to have you guys on is the whole ethos of what you guys deliver as a venue epitomises all that. You know, the hard work, the togetherness, the collaboration, the looking at things, differently.
Yeah.
Is all exactly what you guys are about. And again, for the umpteenth time, and it won't be the last time we'll say it, because you guys are involved in the awards this year as well, and something a wee bit different. We can't give away any of the secrets from that. That's not allowed.
Never were talking about you being in a costume.
I don't know if me and roller boots and hot pants is going to work, to be fair.
A couple of months, we'll be fine.
Squeeze myself into it. But yes, today, girls, thank you very, very much for joining us. Thank you for being involved.
All the best with the podcast.
Thank you very much. Yes, it'll be interesting when we have our other co-host on and some of the debate and stuff like that we have. We're going to be looking at some of the news articles that are there, discussing them. We're going to be looking at some of the challenges, some of the aspects that's there, and we've got a huge list of inspiring people to come on and venues to come on, and it'll be hard act to follow after you guys.
Well,
so very, very well done. So that's all for this edition of the OnTrade Show podcast. Thank you to Lisa and Laura from the team at Berlinkys for joining us, and we look forward to having a chat with you on the next one. See you soon.